AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Cathy, Kelley, Sonya, Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and I've brought some guests. First one is he's the Cooks County kid hailing from Kathmandu.
Kathmandu?
Yes. Please welcome Bobito.com.
I'm actually from Brooklyn, but thank you so much for having me on the show.
That is Kathmandu.
somewhere in Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay.
And then she hails from the valley. He's like, okay, whatever. And she hails from the valley. She's a farmer's daughter or somebody's daughter. Please welcome Emily May.
Hi, everyone.
How are you guys doing today?
We're good.
Great.
We're having a good time. Yeah.
Great.
We're having a good time. Call me Mayor.
beautiful
Call me the
day.
mayor, Kathmandu.
And we have the news, we have Star of the Week, and as we usually do, we have special guests. Today is no exception. She is the native beast and currently signed to AEW. Please welcome Nyla Rose.
AEW.
Hello.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. First, I want to shout out Awesome Kong. She made this happen. She put me in contact with the right people in order to get to you. So I really appreciate Kia Stevens, Awesome Kong for putting this all together. So much love. Let's get into it, Flobito.
Yeah, AEW, All Elite Wrestling. I saw that match with the eventual champion, Riho. The decision wasn't in your favor, but the match was very awesome, very compelling, and very unique. I just want to see your thought process as a performer, coming to house. You work with talent of different sizes and speeds and strengths to really tell a compelling match in a ring with such a high stake as All Elite Wrestling.
Well, like, there's a lot to unpack right there. But for those who don't know me or not as familiar with me, I have spent some time in Japan working the Joshi style, so it wasn't exactly completely foreign to me, so to speak. But definitely after having been back in the States for some time, having to kind of like go back, do some tape study on myself, do some tape study on Riho, and kind of shift gears a little bit just to be able to match her. Because she's a squirmy little speedy, spry young lady.
What did that mean to you as you were preparing for that match, for that world, the women's world championship?
It meant everything, honestly. Till this point in my career, that's probably the biggest thing I've done. And being crowned a world champion, that's no small feat. And to be crowned the first world champion, especially in a new blossoming, blooming company, there can never be another first. So it was kind of like everything was very poetic. You had like all that going. It was in my hometown. There was just so much going on. It was very emotional.
Now, where do you... I'm applying my thought process onto you. Maybe you don't think like that. Where do you hope your storyline will be with AEW? It's just starting. You had some really great matches. I'm assuming you want to obviously see the belt around your waist, but how do you want to get there?
Pain and destruction.
We do see eye to eye.
A role model for kids.
I know.
We here.
We here, for sure. I like that.
Watch out.
Where do you see yourself doing fight? Pain and destruction everywhere, conquering the world.
It's a rose gold belt. Like Nyla Rose gold. Like, you can't really go wrong.
Oh, make the merch. Make
goes.
that merch right now. Nyla Rose Gold. Love it.
You have quite amazing people, both male and female, on the roster. Is there anybody that you want to take on next? Have a feud with?
There's a few. I would probably say next, I'd love to get in there and tangle with Bea Priestley. Her and I, we've never been in the ring in any capacity, not a tag match, not a... hey, you get out of here, like nothing. So it'd be kind of fun to do that.
And representation matters. We've seen, me being black as you can tell.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. And actually seeing more people who look like me in the ring and also interviewing them. There's not as much Native folks. We actually had to look it up, and seeing that in the wrestling ring. How can we change that?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's kind of a two-way street, right? So maybe my presence will kind of encourage some people or spark that interest, spark that comfortability in some people to say, hey, here she is. She's on this platform. She made it. But it is going to be up to the performer to go to a wrestling school and get their traction out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, times are changing, gears are shifting, and we're starting to see a lot more diversity in every aspect of that word.
And as far as that, in your coming up in wrestling, have you experienced any type of like prejudice or racism as far as, okay, well, this is what we think you are, and this is how we want you to act?
Oh, definitely. There's the wrestling industry has a history of being kind of how do I put this delicately?
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Don't do it. Put it bluntly as possible.
It's a very stereotypical business, like in its history, I should say, in its history. But like I said, times are changing, gears are shifting. More and more, day by day, we're stepping away from those things, those stereotypes, those tropes. So starting out, on the indies, people, would say they would have all these suggestions for what you should do because you're Native. Well, I didn't want that to be necessarily a primary focus of my character. I'm definitely proud of my heritage, but I'm also Black. There's a lot of intersectionality going on here. But it's just, for me, it was trying to find a way to have subtle nods at my heritage, just little tokens that I could be proud of to showcase to the world, to kind of put Native Americans on that forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Is there any pressure, external or internal otherwise, to present yourself or your character a certain way because of your intersectionality?
Maybe there is, but I personally don't feel any sort of pressure or anything. A lot of what we do is kind of dictated by ourselves. So
Sure.
A lot of the art that we create comes from within. I don't have anybody saying, hey, make sure you go out there and you dance around and toss out eagle feathers.
Right.
So there's none of that coming from any higher ups or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, it was definitely like little nods that I wanted to kind of showcase, just because I'm proud of who I am and where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as like you mentioned being half Black as well, were there people telling you not to represent that side or to represent that side, or people just do, or people just said just do you?
Mostly people just said do me, but I did get a lot of like, why don't you act Blacker?
Oh God.
Rough start of my life, man.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we had one, I think it was Aja, where it says all throughout her social media, not her social media, her Wikipedia and everywhere, that she's built from Brazil. And she's like, I'm not from Brazil. I've never been from Brazil. That happened one time, and literally people just took to that. And so it's just interesting how, people want to take the little things. It's like, no, I'm just this, and there's nothing wrong with being that, and, kind of going on from that.
So as you're working on this creative aspect of it, blending in your background, how do you find how do you work with other people as well in the creative side, and like and make that an important aspect of who you are, and as you go out on the in the ring?
It's a melding of the minds. It's a group project. But there's not those things. I find, and maybe it's just me, but I find kind of stop at your character on that personal level. The chemistry you have with your opponent in the ring and what you create is something a little bit different. Ultimately, it comes down to just respecting one another and respecting other cultures. There's everybody's so quick to throw out like cultural appropriation, but a lot of times there is a fine line between appropriation and appreciation. And as long as you are respectful and courteous and kind of know where you stand and know where that line is, it's not hard to navigate.
Now, tell us about the first call from AEW. Like, how did that come about, and what was the emotions involved?
The first call was a direct message.
Slide the DMs. Hey, you up?
a lot of people out there, we're very candid in discussing how things have operated. So a lot of people are like, oh, they're so unprofessional. Like, they're passing out deals in tweets and like, no, that's not what happened. There were feelers, people are saying, hey, are you under contract? I'd like to discuss some things with you. Are you even at all interested? Once we got that out of the way, and once I realized it wasn't a practical joke, we exchanged phone numbers and went about things the actual professional route. But yeah, the very first message, I thought it was a joke. I thought somebody was messing with me. Because here I am. I'm like, who's going to sign me? Who's going to sign little old me, right? Well, joke's on me, because here I am.
So walk me through that. I know you got the first DM and you're like, well, this must be some sort of virtual reality thing. It's not real. What was the appeal of a promotion that had some events, but it was essentially sight unseen about what the vision was going to be or what the direction was going to be? What made you say yes?
A lot of it was the unknown. I'm a very creative person. I love to create in every aspect of the word. So being able to be a part of this new promotion and help build it from the ground up, that was very appealing to me, especially when I kind of heard some of the names that were interested, were being thrown around. I knew I had to be a part of this, like be around some of the greatest minds in the business: Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega. These are names, these are people that I'm like, absolutely. Then down the line, I find out, Awesome Kong is on board. It was done deal from there on out.
As you came on board with AEW, has anyone like given you some advice or like helped you along the way?
I steal advice. I go around the back, and I'm a little advice thief. Like I pick everyone's brains. I'm sure I'm annoying. I love my coworkers. I hope I'm not that bad, but I'm definitely, hey, could you tell me something like, what's about this aspect you're working on TV? What's the best foot to put in front of the other one? Like every little detail that I can think of, I just want to be as great as they are. So every little detail, anything I can think of, I'm asking them.
Absolutely. They say that the true mark of an intellectual is the person who's willing to learn and ask why, right? So props to that. I want to ask you a question about the Native Beast as a moniker. What does that mean for you as a performer, and what does that mean for your opponents? I guess they should be like absolutely scared of coming out, right?
That's the idea. That's the goal. So as far as that's concerned, somebody else kind of gave that to me. When I was first starting, I want to say I was like maybe 2-3 matches in, like it was super early, and I was really playing up the Native American thing, like full on Tatanka route, right? And I forgive me, I don't remember what happened, but something happened, and I picked up one of the security guards, gave him a Samoan, and somebody was like, oh, she's gone beast mode, like she's a beast of a woman. And I just kind of was like, I kind of like that, like there's something there. So I juggled it around and moved some words around, and eventually it was Native Beast, and here we are.
Just massacring people all over.
Just massacring. That's right.
Taking people down.
I know. I feel like we'd be good friends. I just like this. Yeah.
Take jabs of the world.
Just take over the world. Now, we were discussing before we started the show about interviews that we've seen in the past. Now, I feel like because Women's Wrestling Weekly, we are the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet, #1 all over the world, universe, etc. Are you tired of people asking you the transgender question? And if you are, what's the last thing that you want to say about it so that nobody asks you that question again?
I'm definitely tired of it. But I get it. It's new for a lot of people. It's a very new thing. It's a new world. It's a new experience. I get it. It's new for a lot of people, especially a lot of like cisgendered, heteronormative people who just don't have to think about these sorts of things. So I definitely get it. But I guess if there was anything I could say, it might go over some people's heads, but it's you know, first and foremost, being transgender is not a sexual orientation. That's a gender identity, and sex and gender are two totally different things. Or sexuality and gender are two totally different things, I should say. So I think that's where a lot of people get hung up on, because they're so quick to lump transgender performers in with, you know, lesbian, gay, bisexual performers. But yes, LGBT community is one community, but these are two different things. That being said, I'm no different than you guys. Like, truly, at the end of the day, I'm no different than you guys. I just want to go out there and perform. Hate me for the right reasons.
Boom.
Fair
So
enough.
here's what happens. Anytime anybody else asks you a question similar to that, you just refer to them to this
To
interview.
women's-
Yeah, it's like, just...
We're just gonna plug
Just have
ourselves.
them, like,
I
Do
mean-
you have a timestamp? Can I just be like, hey, tune in, 17 minutes in.
we will do that
We
just
will
for
do
you.
that for you.
You we'll send it to you. Here's what you do. We'll send it to you in the DMs, and then it's like, look, when they ask you a question, you just say, look, I'm not answering that. You can refer to this.
Hey, man, where do you get the views? So very, very similar to the character you played in that sitcom, The Switch, a couple years ago on Canadian television. Still dabbling with acting, is that something that you still want to pursue during your wrestling career or after your wrestling career to revisit? Or is it kind of like, that chapter's over, now I'm focusing more in the ring action?
No, definitely right now focusing on the in-ring action with AEW, but it's not over by a long shot. Performance is in my blood. That's what I love to do, you know, be it in the ring or how's that for timing, right?
I know. Perfect. Oh, you know what? You know
What's that?
why you're my spirit animal? Because we are born on the same day.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
what's
have
up?
6
Okay.
weeks of birthdays, though.
No. But August 3rd, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exact. I'm like, why am I connecting so well? That is why.
Now, I gotta be honest with you, that's the first time TK's told me her birthday. She says, I have a 6-week season, it's called Birth Fest, it's in the middle of the summer,
I mean,
it lasts like a month and a half.
That is correct.
You pegged her down to a day, so props.
I mean,
appreciate
that is also correct.
She was freaking out a little bit before.
Yeah,
so
I'm
we
like,
had to-
oh my God, she's born on that, and I totally forgot until I was literally thinking, why do I feel so connected?
That's why
I want
it's
world
the
domination
Lions.
too.
We're pride. We're building this.
Boom.
Yeah.
We're building this.
There it is.
I'm
Sorry.
I would love to know some advice for younger wrestlers that are trying to break out, you know, just starting or just trying to get into their favorite promotion. What's some advice you could give them?
Don't. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Make sure you definitely have something to fall back on. But you really have to give wrestling your all. If you give wrestling everything about you, wrestling will give you everything in return. That might be a little bit cliche, but I've seen it time and time again. You have to make the sacrifices. You have to invest in yourself 100% in every aspect of the word, like your gear, your training, your time, effort, energy, just all of it. Invest in yourself. It will repay dividends. I promise you.
Who do you want to have, like, take out promotions, indie, pro, whatever? Who do you want to have a match with that you haven't had a match with?
I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it. Mia Yim.
Okay.
There's a little bit of history with us. We started in the same pro wrestling school. So that's just on a personal level, like having come up with her, watching her get started, like, you know, supporting each other, watching us both come up through the ranks. I would love that just for a very personal, like, chapter closure, like, boom, punctuation. I don't know how to end that. Just boom.
Would there be a storyline that you already have in mind, like a possible, like?
I don't. I don't. I think that would just be one of those dream matches. Like, she joined us in AEW, and then, we just, like, book it for the next Double or Nothing,
Boom. I like it. I'm
put
for
it out
it.
there.
So in past interviews, it said that you were an avid gamer. Shout out to Mega Man right there on your shirt. If you have time to play
It's a
any
Mega
games-
Man made up of Mega Men.
Oh, for real?
Oh!
Shout out to
Oh!
Rockman. Shout out to Rockman. That was my main in Marvel vs. Capcom. But with your schedule now, do you have time to play? And if so, what are you playing right now?
Actually,
Uh-oh, here it comes. Breaking news, breaking news.
I just got back to Pandora.
Okay, shout out to Borderlands, man.
So
I'm
that's
trouble with that game.
kind of what we're doing right now. Outside of that, I've been mucking around and where's the camera? Dead Rising 3.
That's a good one, too.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a good one too.
Death and Destruction, that's what I'm saying.
All day, every day.
Team Xbox, by the way. Team
I have to
Xbox.
play some games.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to hit rapid hot tags real quick.
Oh Lord, what is that?
Wrestling Rapid Hot Tag.
So, rapid hot tags
Run,
is.
run.
I know, it's not that.
Get
bad.
away.
Rapid hot tags is I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind. So, painless.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the tag rope. I gotta get the tag rope. Gotta do this
Okay.
right. Okay.
So, always
That's my
earlier.
phone charger, but we're gonna
we
make
see
believe
it.
tag rope. Okay.
There you go. Always earlier, always late.
Always early.
Last person you text.
My wife or my mom.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
Everything. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
We're right.
Stop.
We are right here. Dream dinner guest.
Dream dinner guest?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Tom Hardy.
Favorite ice cream.
Mint chocolate chip.
Favorite wrestler.
Me.
Yes.
Who would play you in a movie?
Oh, good Lord. I don't know.
Okay. We'll take that. Yeah, if you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Cinnamon twist.
Wow.
Ooh. Last show you binge watched.
That's in the big box.
Last show I binge watched, I think that might have been Game of Thrones.
And if you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Miso salmon from Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, I want to try that.
Probably be specific
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
I know, very specific.
It's really good.
So, where can people find you if they want to, shoot in your DMs and, not get you on another promotion, but, just shoot in the DMs?
Please don't slide in my DMs
Please don't.
just for any willy-nilly ass reason. Please don't do that. But if you want to find me, you can reach me at Nyla Rose Beast on Twitter and Instagram. Definitely do Instagram. Help me get those followers up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Your social media is on point. You're authentic. You're honest. I think it's just because you're a Leo. That's
Probably.
Yeah.
probably what it is.
I'm a little
TK
bit
trying to get signed.
I'm not trying to get signed. I'm just saying Leos just have this thing we run the world. Just don't be jealous. It is what it
I'm
is.
incredibly jealous.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you on AEW, just
So
crushing
exciting,
it, killing it. Our show is kind of magical. What happens is you usually say what you want, and that thing usually happens. Like if you want to
Yeah.
get signed with a promotion, which you already are, but if you want a belt, you just say it. And
We
Say it.
said that. We said that the Nyla Rose Gold belt. We got to put that out there. Gonna put out there that my T-shirts are gonna sell and get some new ones, and they'll be the top sellers.
nice.
Yes.
And where can they
I
find
want to
your
look at the
shirts?
crowd and see a sea of Nyla Rose shirts. That's what I want.
Boom.
Yeah.
And where can they find your shirts?
On ProWrestlingTees.com, just type in Nyla Rose, and it'll come. I don't know why your keyboard is so up high.
So
I don't know. That's weird. Don't type like that. You're like a spider. But yeah, Pro Wrestling Tees. Type in Nyla Rose, and I'll pop up.
Nice.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much for hopping on. So shout out to Awesome Kong for putting me in contact. Shout out
Yes.
to Courtney for making it all happen. It was an effort, but I am so thankful for you hopping on the show. I believe we are definitely spirit animals, so I will be sliding into your DM. I'm just telling you that from now.
Yeah, that's
but-
okay. That's because it's not really good. We're connected.
We're
We're
Remember
connected.
me, August 3rd.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. We just hope to we saw that match for AEW. It was an amazing
Incredible.
match, and
Incredible.
I think, and I know it's gonna be that promotion's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
It's
I can't
gonna
wait
be
to
big
watch
things.
it every week. Continue to amaze fans.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Like, we're just getting started, and if everybody's enjoyed what they've seen, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Boom.
Yes.
Destruction
Yes.
all the way, baby. Thank you so much. We have a little bit more show to go. We're going to hit that star of the week real quick.
Whoa.
Woo!
This week's Star of the Week is Hyan, right? From Houston, Texas, she's been a mainstay at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling and has captured the Diamonds Championship on more than one occasion. She's been on with the ongoing feud with AQA, which is also a Star of the Week in this promotion, so we know we see elite talent when we find it. You can find her all over the country. We're talking about the Southwest, the Southeast, all over. If you haven't found out Hyan on Instagram, you should. She has some great content there. For the fact she's putting in the work and is getting better week by week, month by month, and year by year, Hyan, you are this week's Star of the Week.
Yay!
This week's star of the week. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I think because she's a Leo. I'm just
I know.
so,
I'm like, you're beaming
I'm
right
so,
now.
like,
You're like
I connect with Leos on like such a higher
Yeah,
level, like
okay.
world dominance type
world
thing.
dominant. You guys, you both are gonna take over the world.
Yes,
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm just just give me like goosebumps.
I know, right?
I love hanging, and Obama's a Leo too, so you know.
That
Shout
is
out
a
to
dope
Obama.
tag team, though. The Native Beast and the Canadian Assassin come down to the ring.
I see it.
I mean, it won't happen,
Anytime
but
you
that'd be
take
kind of
down-
cool. To
You know what?
Just-
I don't fancy myself ever to be a wrestler because I'm way too many injuries in. However,
Right.
if that isn't a guaranteed thing,
Yeah.
I would hang up 5 of my jobs
Wow.
to
Whoa.
train
Just 5.
Well, just 5 out of 10.
and to be that tag
You
team.
got ace bandage for every
Wow.
joint in your body.
Yeah,
You're gonna
pretty
quit 5
much.
jobs.
Yeah, pretty
Wow.
much. I mean, just coming off that Achilles back in the gym again. But I would not do. I would
would say
stop
that.
doing 5 jobs to train to be a wrestler.
Well, be a manager.
But I like hitting people.
Wow.
I
You can
really
still
do.
be a person if
Selena
you're a
Vega does it.
manager.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
You can still make it
discuss.
happen.
Yeah.
We should chat.
I'm conflicted
Figure
because I
it
should
out.
empower you, but at the same time, I don't know. You hit people in the
Do you want
face.
to be hit?
I mean, I used to play football. I like hitting people. It's a thing.
Okay.
Let's
I can see it happen.
Let's hit the news real quick.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Top story: Tika Trinidad wants to be Nyla Rose's friend. No, I'm kidding. Today's news story.
Wow! Where's the regular word for that
MLW
one?
Major League Wrestling is now starting up their women's division based around Zeta Zhang will fight in the first ever women's division match at MLW Blood and Thunder from the Guilt nightclub in Orlando, Florida, November 9th. So we were talking about this before. MLW has a crazy great product, and now they're doubling down on the women's division. Her opponent is TBD currently, but it's an exciting time for MLW because the ground is only, there's only more and more they can grow, right?
Oh my gosh, shout out to Zeta Zhang. She's been on the show twice. She's absolutely amazing. She probably is a Leo too. I need to double check that. But she is awesome. She's she's just been in the game for so long, and her pictures are on fire. Definitely, if you don't have her pillow, check out her pillow. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back in our other interviews and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Do you have an idea of who the opponent's going to be?
I have no idea because MLW can really bring in some people.
Yeah.
That was from Square Circle Sirens.
We'll have to track that.
Yeah.
Moving on, if you guys have been hiding under a rock, this week WWE 2K20 was released on all different platforms. The game features Becky Lynch, the man on the cover, as the first ever female cover athlete to do so, was released this past Tuesday. Gamers got a chance to step inside and be the man. Did you guys play the game yet?
No.
Not
However,
yet. Not yet.
There has been a lot of technical issues I've been seeing online with the game. I'm happy that Becky Lynch is on there. However, a little caveat to that, Triple H did do an interview and he talked about Ronda Rousey possibly coming back or definitely coming back. He kind of hinted more on definitely.
Yeah.
So my question always has been, if Ronda didn't leave, would Becky be Ronda? You know what I'm saying? Would Ronda be the one?
You mean Ronda's on the cover?
Yes. I wonder if that would be
It's
the
hard
case.
to say. I would say objectively yes, but because Ronda Rousey was on the Deluxe Edition DLC last year,
Right.
I don't think they would. But if that wasn't part of it, if it was non-canon, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think it's Becky's time, and I think it's great that she's
Oh,
on the
I
cover.
definitely want it to be
Yeah.
Becky's time, but I just wonder, especially with the whole like UFC MMA caveat that they're kind of spinning now on the men's side of things. So so shout out to Becky though. Met her, she's amazing. She's probably a Leo too because she's amazing.
Everybody leaves you.
I
working.
mean,
We're gonna look up everyone's
I know.
birthdays.
I'm just saying. actually should know this because we do have a little birthday segment on IG. Follow us on IG, WPW Weekly. We do shout out all the wrestlers'
Yeah,
birthdays.
we gotta do that.
And then also shout out to Taya Valkyrie. It was just her birthday a day or two ago.
Yeah,
So
speaking of Taya Valkyrie,
birthday.
she is officially Impact Wrestling's longest reigning Knockouts champion of all time. There's a bit of a controversy there between her and Tenille Dashwood because of the way the taping schedules were, how sometimes things are taped and stacked. We weren't sure how many days, but now, of all metrics, Taya Valkyrie is like the longest reigning Knockouts champion.
I am for
Legit.
Taya Valkyrie. She as well has been on the show twice. She
Yeah.
brought her husband on the show, and she's a Canadian. She's a fellow Canadian, so there's also love there. So she's not a Leo, but Canadian still.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I like how she like gets her matching like her fuzzy like shin guards. It's pretty dope. Like,
And now
like
she
the-
changes her look.
Yeah, small
but
details.
it's so clutch. It's
Yeah.
just so very specific, and it's she changes her look, but it's just like iconic in each one. So
Absolutely. And our last news item today, Naomi returns to a WWE ring. Naomi, you took some time after a match in July against Sarah Logan. In a post by PRWrestling.com, she's being advertised for the October 26th show in Puerto Rico. So this might be the start of Naomi's return to WWE main roster.
now y'all know, if you've been following me long enough, I'm a fan of Naomi. We discuss hair on a regular basis. I've been quite upset on multiple occasions on Raw and well, not on NXT, but I probably dashed that in NXT too, about her not seeing her or the Usos on the show as of late. So I'm happy. It hasn't been confirmed by WWE, but I'll be thoroughly happy to see her back in because I'm sure with this time off, she did tweet I think about 2 weeks ago saying like she had some issues, health problems,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I'm sure with that time off, she's been able to be creative, and we're gonna look forward to something new from her.
You're right. The match hasn't been confirmed, but what's being rumored is Natalya and Naomi against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, which is on par for someone coming back from time off being
Yeah.
protected in a tag match.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it may be closer to it actually happening. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Evan T. Mack in the building.
In the building here.
Well, not in the building, but in the building in the live chat. If y'all
Oh,
don't know
in
who,
the-
yeah,
in the chat.
in the
Yeah.
chat,
In
in the building. I mean, if you guys don't know who he is, you all are been missing out. He was my co-host for a very long time on this show and on other wrestling shows, and my brother from another mother. He is with WWE. He is in the chat. He has time to take out for us.
I know. So sweet.
So shout out to Evan T. Mack
Cheers.
for joining us. Now, Flobito,
Yo,
hailing from Kilimanjaro.
I've never
Where
been.
can people?
I mean,
Where can people find
there's
you?
Africans in Brooklyn, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm Flobo Boys. You can follow me at Flobo Boys on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram, and of course, Flobito.com.
All right. I don't have a .com, but I'll get one. I'm Emily Mayheller, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Emily Mayheller.
And you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Also, make sure you're following us on WPW Weekly. That's where we announce all our guests. If you want to see anybody on the show, you can hit us up. You can slide in the DMs, all that good stuff. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on iTunes and all that other good stuff, make sure to give us 5 stars, give us all those likes, give us all those comments. We really appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Thank you again to Nyla Rose, the Native Beast, for joining us. Until next week, guys. Ciao.
From executive producer Kevin Undergaro, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Maria Menounos, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Women's Wrestling Weekly. To help TK, the crew, and women's wrestling in general, we ask that you subscribe, rate, and comment on Women's Wrestling Weekly at Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our AfterBuzz TV wrestling channel on YouTube for this and other outstanding wrestling content. Buzz you later.